Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Good morning.
everyone out there in podcast land. Good morning, Party Marty and Cece.
Good
Good
morning to
morning,
you.
Gina, Rosanna, Diana. Good morning, CC, our engineer.
Good morning, Party Marty and Gina Lee. How's everybody today?
Great, great. How was the weekend, everybody?
Good.
It was a
How
good
about
week.
them Ravens, baby? How about them
Woo,
Ravens, y'all?
woo,
Hands
woo,
up, hands
Hey,
up,
woo.
hands up. How about them Ravens, Jack? And Tucker, we trust. But everybody
Oh,
failed to realize before they can get Tucker to kick a 66-yard field goal, um, uh, our MVP quarterback had to convert 4th and 20 first down.
yeah,
If Lamar don't make that big throw, well, they don't come up with the big catch. We don't get a chance to kick the field goal. So that was
mhm.
a
that's right. No iron team.
yeah, that was a team effort. I mean that piggybacks on my point that I'm making. Our team. I'm rolling with an awesome team here per usual. All right, as usual. I don't know. I never know what Gina's topics are till the last minute. We have a group text that we put out. The group text is our team. Me, my current events person and engineer CC. Gina Lee is. I don't know. We really call her our historian anymore. You know what I mean? Because she has more topics than that. First, she started off just as a historian, but Gina Lee has just as many important events that's happening in the world today as she does history. She has evolved. Dr. Ted is Dr. Ted. He's going to be in there with us in a minute. But the format of what we do at Simply Us is a team. We're a team. We're a team. You know what I mean? That we put that together. I mean, Cece is the engineer. She puts all these topics together and does all that kind of stuff. I'm your field leader. I'm the person that says we go live. I'll let Dr. Ted get with every topic and stuff like that. But let me tell you something. Everybody's important to this team. To this team. This team was actually put together, actually glued together. The reason why we're dealing with longevity is because of Gina Lee. Gina Lee has multiple topics. We cringe if she says that she's not gonna make it. She's not. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Real talk. Because I don't have a topic. Won't have a topic. I make up something that I talk about. That's not a topic. My wife has a topic. She gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning so she can watch Gail and them, so she can have something current. She already has what she's talking about, but she watches Gail and them because she wants to have something current. Jen Lee does research in her topics. So I asked CC this morning, or what do we? What's Gina talking about? Oh, she's got a couple of them, and this, and somebody murdered somebody. You know what I mean? I know the name. I've heard the name. I don't know what they've done. You'll find out today. Even I'll find out while you're finding out. Me and CC say, oh, we knew that he killed somebody. That's one of her topics and stuff. But she puts work into her topic. And my prayer is that y'all put work into your topic. Your topic is you. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
You
morning,
know
Doc.
what I mean?
Good morning.
Your topic in life should be you. How much work do you put into your topic? Yourself. You know, yourself. How much work do you put into yourself? Doctor always tells you about family, friends, and all that kind of stuff like that. That's great. Cece always tells you about what she needs to do, and she got those boys and stuff like that that's out there where murder runs rampant in Baltimore. That's great. She has to make sure that it's safe. And Gina comes from a long line of educators and educated people, so she likes reading and stuff. But that's great. But in podcast land, don't ever forget this: if you don't invest in you, if you ain't right, you can't help nobody else if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You gotta get you right. You gotta get you right before you get anybody else right. Get you right. I talk to y'all layman's terms that you understand. I ain't saying get yourself right. I talk to you so you can understand. Get you right. I talk to you like the person I am. I'm West Baltimore Party Marty. My government name is Maurice Tates. I make sure that I always tell my story. I'm an ex drug dealing, drug addict, dope fiend, crackhead, jailbird, thug. I'm an ex West Baltimore, dope fiend, crackhead, jailbird, drug dealing, thug. Who God shook, pushed off, sent it back on his merry way. I was fortunate enough to get me right. Could nobody do nothing for me until I decided that I was going to do something to get me right. We talk about a lot of topics, y'all, on Simply Us. Talk about important events that's happening in the world today. We talking about history. We talking about our esteemed colleague, Dr. Ted Sutton. Once again, our esteemed colleague, Dr. Ted Sutton. And we talk about a self-educated person in Sansaray Tates. What we was talking about, Doc, is team. We are a team. That's what I put together, a team. That's what we end up being, a team. I don't care if it starts as small as the great kick that Mr. Tucker made, 66-yarder into the book of history. You know what I mean? If Lamar don't make the 4th and 19, the 4th and 20 first down, he's not in position to kick that field goal. He's not in position to kick that field goal. My prayer today is that Gina talks about an incident that she had at the stadium. She may or may not. That may be personal. She don't want to elaborate on it. But we went to dinner. We talked about it a little bit and violence and stuff in these stadiums and these events is run rampant. It's run rampant. It's dangerous out there, y'all. They're wanting to fight each other and hooping and hollering and a whole bunch of confusion, throwing water on people and stuff like that about a football game. Good morning, Smiley baby.
Good morning.
You know, I pray that everybody realize the seriousness of what we're doing and how it can affect everybody. Gina knows firsthand. I hope that one of her topics is to speak on that. So before we go any further, let's get into our prayer and get our broadcast. Father God, thank you for the wonderful things that's going on in all our lives. Father God, we always pray for the people over there fighting them God-forsaken wars that allow us to sit home, do mom bars, do podcasts, watch Raven games, hang out, drink a beer. Persons are losing mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles. They're losing limbs. They're losing sight. They're losing their homes. There's a lot going on for those persons over there that's making us able to do what we do. Father God, please keep them in the bosom, keep them in the blood. We always make sure that we always pray for anybody and everybody that's dealing with that God-forsaken pandemic. And my prayer always is the same, Father God, if there's somebody that you can whisper in their ear to make sure that they get the shot. Because right now, Father God, they don't know they just lost. Their decision maker is just poor at best. We pray for them, and they're just lost. If we don't get a grip on this thing, it doesn't matter. We'll all be dead. Last but not least, we always bring home conclusion of Gina Lee's continuously telling us that you are looking at sometimes what people may even think in proportion is the end of days. All these floods, all these tornadoes, and things of mass destruction, chaos. Gina Lee says the largest wildfire in the world is burning in the coldest region on Earth. Once again, the largest wildfire in the world is burning on the coldest region on Earth. That sounds impossible to me. And to me, it even sounds biblical. Because North Carolina is home with her usual. All God owes you is grace and mercy. All God can give you is grace and mercy. The rest you should be able to do on your own. And that's all we pray and all we ask, Father God. Moment of silence, please. Amen.
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 Once again, everybody, if you don't know, or you were under a rock, we call ourselves Simply Us, our podcast that we do. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We're regular people talking about regular topics. We Gina's going to anchor us today for a couple topics. What we always do, new format is y'all, as Gina, as Doc sometimes has to save the world, not save Baltimore, not save his home, and save everything. So at this time, I'm gonna start my topic off because, let's be realistic about it. Doc, him don't got no topic. Doc, him don't got no topic. Me and Doc, we don't got no topics. We come to us as it go along. We talk about whatever we talk about. God gave us a gift of the gab. We got it. I talk about stuff. I bring some things up because Doc's going to reiterate and give you his opinion. Once again, out there at Podcast Land, we always don't have the popular opinion. I thank Gina for starting us off with that early in the podcast. She said, I play devil's advocate, and I mean, this may not be the popular opinion, but I don't agree. That's how Gina does. You know what I mean? This may not be the popular opinion. You know what I mean? But I don't agree. And I love that about it. So that's our format that we always keep up with. Doc is he's got a PhD. He's a world travel, renowned speaker, and a man is well educated, and he's family. Doc and I through marriage are related. We're literally family through marriage. But it doesn't mean I gotta always have Doc's opinion. But sometimes when a person starts giving you their opinion and you listen, you not only might learn, you might change your opinion. You may solidify your opinion. I didn't agree with Doc's opinion the other day when he talked about. I'm sick of that. Everybody taking off for everybody. Sick of it. Sick of Afghanistan. I ain't giving them niggas enough. I apologize. I ain't giving them another hour, more or less 20 more years. They had their chance. Man told you had 5-6 months to get yourself ready and leave out of here. You went to the prom. You hung out. You ate bonbons. You did that. Now you gonna dive on a plane and go off and tell you, good morning, Bonnie.
Hey, Bonnie.
And then you gotta go back and get you again. I ain't got no time for y'all. You had your chance. You had 20 years. You chumps gave your country up. You gave it up. You know, I mean, hey, the persons that's over there at that border. I mean, Doc had another opinion, but here we go. We got rid of Afghanistan. Now, here we got 10 million people or something else. Shout out to my co-worker Collins, who told me, he said, man, Party, I want y'all to know over there, the African is a person of African descent. Are really high into politics and stuff of that nature. Education is everything to them. I give it to them. A lot of respect to the African culture. Education is everything going because that's the only way they can get out of the situation they're in. You know what I mean? Y'all may not know this, Podcast Land. We've never fought a war here, except for the Civil War. We fought our own stuff. Damn fools. But we don't fight wars here. You say something else, we come over there and hit you in the mouth. You ain't walking outside on Park Heights and see no AK. Only person got a gun on Park Heights is your dumbass. People in West Baltimore, ain't no soldiers run up and down the street. That's our dumbass run up and down the street with guns. But we don't fight wars here. We don't fight wars here. We go over there and we fight. That's the luxury that we have. That's why I pray for the people always going over there, leaving their home, fighting them godforsaken wars. But he says to me, you look at some people next to the water under the bridge, you don't have a clue on how many of them there are. You talking about a whole country coming here. You talk about some stragglers or somebody climbing over the fence. You talk about mass infiltration. So that's all I saw. You know, I don't want too many of nothing here. Bad enough it is. We always talk about we the melting pot and the land of the free and all that kind of stuff, but we accept everybody. I don't want to give you my opinion because I'm giving you my opinion. But as Doc explained to us, we've been taking people forever, man. That's what we do. We take everybody in. Boy, come here, Jack. I got you. Hey, boy, what's up, Jack? Hey, the French. Viva la France. Oh, coup de français. Every time somebody get bought out, took over, something like that, we take them. Except for us, people of color. Ride us down with horses. Beat us with whips. Tell us no. So I got that out of Doc's presentation of responding to the comment that I had. So I'm not gonna say that I really changed my mind. I still don't want nobody else here. I'm party. I went up to my shortcomings. Still don't want nobody else here. That's how I am. I went up to my shortcomings, but I got another point of view. Okay, NEIE, here's my topic. I'm gonna speak about my topic. I'm gonna go first today. Doc will jump in there and comment on my topic because him don't got no topic. Him topic is life lessons. That's what Doc do. That's what you have in the PhD. You are able to, shout out to Donnie Glover, who I can say came up with this comment. Donnie Glover said his parents used to tell him that you should be able as a man to speak up, or male or female, to be able to speak on pretty much any topic at any time with anybody. I didn't say you had to be authority. I didn't say you had to have a PhD. You don't have to be a historian. You don't have to read like my wife is in the market reading catch-up Bibles. She reads anything. I didn't say you had to be that, but you should be able to speak on pretty much any topic with anybody. Just enough to get in there and say, well, here's my topic today. What is my topic today, see, Miss Engineer? Topic, how Black families handle their struggles. Okay, that's my topic today. This is Doc's field. We have a lot of comments on this. You know, we don't talk in our circle about mental illness. When we came along, Doc and I and Gina and my wife is as old as I am mentally, not literally in age. She's nowhere near my age. I'm blessed. But she can talk on these topics. We don't want anybody to know our dirty laundry. You'd be surprised how many people you kick it with out there that's dressed up, clean as I don't know what. House is a mess. Nasty. Water not working properly. We don't hold back. My wife tell me I've been in the house where I know about CC. CC been working with me forever, so she makes the same amount of money that I make, if not more. So when she said, yeah, we be in the house and the lights turned off. How the hell your lights turned off? We all making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. She said, my lights is turned off and stuff like that. Me and my kids got used to it. We go play cards and go on as normal. Out in the street, you would never know. When the boys come out in the street still clean as a whistle, you would never know what's going on in the person's house. But all she did was hung in there because the lights got turned off on Wednesday. On Friday, I get paid. Lights back on. You don't know some of these things that's going on in people's houses. You don't know. Well, a lot of y'all are so busy not airing your dirty laundry, making sure that don't nobody know what's going on in your house, that you won't ask for help and you won't accept it. Now you will accept the stimulus check though. Every damn Black person that I know was waiting on the stimulus. Where's my stimulus? God darn it! Why? No. What did Roy say? See. Just the third stimulus check is coming. Now he just said we get ready to get a fourth. They live their life on the stimulus. I mean, people with jobs, people that's hustling and stuff like that. It's all about that stimulus. They don't mind accepting that hand. They don't mind accepting that. They won't take welfare, but they'll take that stimulus, not knowing that's a form of welfare too. Somebody give you something for nothing. Yo. Sometimes you're going on confusion in your own house. You won't ask for help and you won't address it. If you keep allowing this behavior in your home, them young people are going to grow up to be old idiots. Right now, you just think I'm as bad. You know what I mean? Later on, you're going to realize what they are. I'm going to go off topic real quick and tell you this. My mother used to always say that. You know how people always talk about, oh, you see that guy over there, Jack? Girls used to say, he looked real cool, he bow-legged, he's sexy. Bow-legged is a form. What's the word that I would use for it?
A birth
It's the bad you go. Being bow-legged is a birth defect. Y'all act like it's sexy and stuff like it. It's sexy. I like, yeah, player. My grandson gonna be a player, but his little bow-legged self. Well, when I came along, they ain't had no problem for you, player. Your mother took you to Striveway, put them hard shoes on you, put that bar across your feet. You slept with a bar and two things to turn your feet in, and that was it, player. We gonna fix the bow-leggedness that you got. Back in the day, family addressed stuff. You know what I mean? Y'all remember that? You got a problem with your teeth, you went to the dentist, or you got braces. You ain't just accept, oh yeah, Jay, ain't got no teeth, everything cool, is gonna straighten out. What don't straighten? Now you what's the name? Cardi B. I hope you hoes know it ain't cheap. Got a bag and fix my teeth. So you know what I mean? After she got that money, what Cardi B did? When got her teeth right. When got her teeth right. It's birth defect. Y'all out there, I'm rambling on because I don't want to tell all of my business and I don't want to touch too many toes with y'all business. But y'all keep too much stuff internal in your family that's going on wrong. Dr. Ted always tell that story about his mother. He tell his mother said when he got over there, first thing she tell you is you can't have no company. Ain't nobody spending the night. You ain't spending the night nowhere. And I don't give a damn if you starving. You ain't hungry if they ask. Right, Ted? That was the rules I was given. We went out. I was giving those rules. You hunting? No, you better not. Hey, y'all want a sandwich? No, I'm okay. Be over there, stomach touching my back. My mom ain't play going out all that eating ass and nobody that like you hungry. You should have ate when you had a chance to eat when you was watching TV and playing. That's what she would always say. But as a panel, y'all, I'm gonna put it to the floor and let y'all talk because usually God gave me the gift of the gab and I got it. I usually speak well on things like that. I'm stumbling through this one here, but y'all know my point. And maybe my panel is going to be able to bring it home a little better to you than I did. But y'all keep so much inside in the black family. Y'all don't want nobody to know that this person is slow. You're not going to ask for a tutor. Remember back in the day, we had a tutor. You got Gina Lee mother had kids in her house every day after school for an hour or two before their mother got off work. Mine was Miss Dean. If my mother, you get out of school at 3 and mama gets off at 4 and get home at 5, them 2 hours you went to Miss Dean, you thought that was your babysitter or something. It wasn't your babysitter. Miss Dean was a teacher or an educated person like Gene and them. They were what they call in the family tutors. You got off, you went over somebody's house. Did you realize it was helping you with your homework? See, now we know them as tutors, but we came along, we just thought it was somebody, that was watching, I ain't come over there and play. As soon as I got over there, she checked my homework and did all that kind of stuff. We asked for help. There's mental illness running rampant in the black family right now. Your kids, your grandkids, your brothers, some mental illness is running rampant right now. Y'all won't ask for help until it's too late. I have a problem with tears running out of my eyes. My father ruined me and told me, big boy, men don't cry, and that stuck with me. And then when my grandson was shot and murdered, my anger management was not addressed, even though I went to a psychiatrist and everything else for work. Shout out Clifton T. Perkins, give me time and my good state job with the insurance to go off and seek help, but I didn't address any help. That was just my reason to be off work. I'll get my slip signed. And that's why now I keep crying all the time. Because I didn't address grieving. That was my topic, my last topic. So I'm piggybacking on my other topic about we need to spend more time talking about things. And I hope that see this? Let me get it right how Gina do. All right, I'm getting better at this, Gina, with this left, right, when you're showing your products. It's not easy as it looks. I hope that somewhere, some of this is affecting you out there in podcast land. I hope it's affecting you. I hope that you're listening. sometimes when your kids are acting up or acting out, they need some help. They need somebody to talk to. Dr. Ted has a PhD. His wife is a counselor. It's cool counselors out here, man. Cool doctors out here, man. Please talk to somebody before it's too late.
Robin Lewis said she was in your class and you didn't do your homework. Stop lying. Good morning, Robin.
Yeah.
Good morning, Sugar
Hey,
Mama.
Robin was in my class. She ain't lying a bit. But one thing though, Doc, tell them we were smart enough. We had our homework when we got to class. But Robin Lewis, Veronica Wright, Pam Allen, you know what I mean? They did their homework. We copied. Wasn't dumb enough to get there and get a 0. They Robin them was smart, you know what I mean? But yo, I didn't do good with my presentation this time. That's why I got a good team. But I'm gonna give the format, then I'm gonna put it out to the floor. I'm gonna start with you, Dr. Ted. Y'all, we as a Black civilization have been hiding our regression, hiding our shortcomings, hiding our family problems for so long that we never address them. Hey, y'all, let's go on into generations now. You're doing stuff that you allowed to happen to your kids. It's happening to your kids' kids. We got to own up to some of our shortcomings. You know, we got so many answers for everything. You do this, you swinging the spaceships. You know what I mean? You ain't doing right. We called you crazy. Now, y'all, you bipolar, ADHD. You got about 20 different scenarios and all these different names for crazy. We just called you crazy. Yeah, real talk. We just called you crazy. Now it's time to start addressing this. So, Doc, I want you, I'm gonna start with you because that's your field and that's your wife's field. I want you to tell people some avenues that are open out there, some ways to talk to people, to let some of this stuff be in-house. Everybody don't have to know. I doubt if Gina Lee's mother, when she went over there and gave Gina Lee's clothes away and took that child to the Smithsonian Institute or to watch him sing an opera, I bet she didn't put a sign up over there and told that kid, this ain't your clothes. Did nobody know that wasn't their clothes? She just put some clothes on and they went out. You know what I mean? It's a discreet way of doing things. It's a discreet way if your kid is having a problem, if your grandkids, great nephews, and all that is having problems. It's a discreet way of dealing with this stuff. It's programs out there. It's avenues out there. It's money allocated for you to go out and find somebody to talk to. You don't have to solve everything on your own there. It's people out here that need help, starting with me. We all have things in our family that we need to address. So, Doc, what avenues out there are there? And what do you suggest for people who always want to internalize everything by solving it themselves until it's too late? I'm simply else Party Marty. That's my time, Doc. Let's talk.
Yes, brother, I tell you, and that's a very significant issue that we're dealing with, because to be honest with you, I would feel a majority of, and I would say a good portion of African-American families have actually just had to learn how to deal with trauma. And so we have just normalized a certain level of trauma that we see, because some of us have had to see it so much on so many levels. And so, you know, it's really something, but I would have to say that, you know, we have to embrace our culture and not be embarrassed by, you know, our culture, and learn and try to find out more about it, because I think that our foundation was damaged so much from coming from where we were brought from to being brought here to having a whole different way of life, you know, thrust upon us. And then it was made like it was taboo to really talk about our real culture and history. And so if a person says Africa, the first thing they think is the jungle, dirt, huts, you know, and not thriving cities. And so if a person say, you know, if you say you got a dashiki on, a person be like, oh, you wearing a dress, yo? That's a dress, yo. And so we haven't embraced, that culture and what we know and different things. I mean, I had an incident I was dealing with. My baby boy got into a little hand-to-hand situation, at his school. And, we came and talked, and I wanted to know what was going on. So anyway, it was the same boy, and he got into it more than once. And that's just a big boy. But the boy, has been calling people bitch, and he's been doing it to other people. And so my son, when he got to my son, he did, and all this and that. And, my son ended up putting his hands on him. And so, when I talk to him, so I'm there, I'm in the office, and I'm talking to the principal. We like, well, yeah, I'm not telling him that he should handle every situation with his hands. And so they asked, I said, well, if he's been doing this to other people, they were like, if he's been doing this to other people, what made you not be able to walk away like they did? and his response to me and the principal and my wife, we sitting there, and he said, because I'm not them, I'm not going to take that. He said, I'm not gonna have nobody thinking it's okay to call me bitch. And it was really wild because I'm in the office and I'm trying to share that we're not supposed to handle situations with your hands, or it's not supposed to get physical, and and really, and I had to share with him, people have the right to say what they want to say, but if they put their hands on you, then it becomes you defending yourself. So I feel you should always defend yourself, but you don't have the right to really just put your hands on somebody because they have an opinion that's different, or because they say something out of the way. Now, but realistically, in my mind, in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's coming from that same school that I came from.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you call me something like that, I'm gonna make an example out of you.
There you go.
Now, not to cut you off, Doc, but then your son take martial arts. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to allow anybody to call me that and think that that's okay. And the boy did it more than once. And, and then he actually even, I told, and so really, they like, well, the first thing you're supposed to do is tell the teacher. And then the second thing, you're supposed to walk away. And so how do you embrace that? Okay, this is the way we're supposed to do it. But the culture that we have come from, the first time, if you say something to the teacher, you're a snitch. If you walk away, you scared. If you let them keep doing it, then you a sucker, you a punk, or you just what they said you was. And so we have to learn how to show our youth how to be able to navigate through these type of things so that they can understand when and when not to. They need to know how to fight the battles and when to fight the battles. And so it was just like I said, it was really wild, because I'm not saying that, my family's always perfect, because I was in the office, and my wife, she was embarrassed. She was like, I don't even want to tell them I'm a counselor. You know what I'm saying? I don't even tell them I'm working with teens, and and she said, don't you go in there telling them all the stuff you do with all the youth. And she was like, you need to go in there and just take it. And I understood it, but see, I was trying to also share with her that we have to really listen more than just talk, because see, we came from a culture that children didn't really have a voice. You going to church because I said so. You going to school because I said so. They'll send you to school, and it could be 2 feet of snow. You are walking to school. Now, if flurries come out, they let you out. You know what I'm saying? They had it where you can have full-fledged, full-blown pneumonia, and they were sending you to school. And you know, and so what I'm saying is that we have to make our families healthier, where we are being able to listen. Yeah, where we are being able to listen to our children and see what's valid to them. Because really, when we came from, if I'm paying the bills and putting food on the table, you don't have no problem.
That's right.
I don't care what's happening out there. And we really have to also remind ourselves that our children are being exposed to a certain level of drugs that's on a higher level, a certain level of pornography at a higher level, a certain level of inappropriate things that they are visually seeing on all of these social media branches. And so, you know, so the thing is that we have to embrace our culture and try to do more family orientated things, as opposed to just focusing on paying the bills and not hearing from, and we don't hear nobody's mouth when we get home. We got to make that sacrifice and make that time, because a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people talk about different things, you know, but most other cultures have their foundation that we lack and that we do not have. And so I think that, you know, that's one of the things, because a lot of people talk about the melting pot, but we've been put in the pot and not melted. Nothing, people are not, you know, we haven't really melted into the pot. We still solid in the pot. And so, and I think that that's the big, you know, difference. So we have to really show, you know, our families and try to, you know, be more family orientated in certain things, because we cannot put it off on society, children. You know, a lot of times we're the TV has raised some of our children.
Mm-hmm.
TV has raised children. YouTube has the PlayStation has raised some of our children.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't know about playing Monopoly or playing, you know, Scrabble, you know what I'm saying, or playing spades as a family or something like that. A lot of them, they grew up, you know, just in their room, secluded, and sometimes we don't know what they watch. And so we really gotta, you know, try to, you know, do something to try to be more family orientated as far as with that.
Yep, I agree. And so many, you know, that whole electronic babysitter thing is a real issue in our society, because and I say we as in meaning parents, don't take the time out to really find out what it is that your children are into. You know what I'm saying? You just assuming that they doing something that's safe because they in the house and they not running the streets. But the internet, so they can be reached by so many predators on so many different levels worldwide. You know, not just the ones outside the door. So that's no safer than them being out in the street. And we just have to we just have to learn to be more proactive instead of always being reactive. Because one thing about us is that we, you know, a lot of us wait until the thing has already happened, when we have opportunity, we miss opportunities to prevent the thing from happening. You know, and we gotta be, some of these kids have their own parents scared to address them, you know, and it's a sad state of affairs when that becomes the case, because, you know, my son is both of my sons are probably 6 feet tall or close to being 6 feet tall, but they're gonna lay me in my grave before I'm afraid to address anything that I need to address with them. And they, you know, we just have to get into the habit of, I think that a lot of this comes from the way some of us were raised, because we were raised on what goes on in my house stays in my house. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are out here suffering in silence instead of reaching out to their village, reaching out to their support system when they have issues in the home because they carry this level of shame, like they the only one that had problems. They the only one that had a kid that got in trouble. Dr. Sutton just told us. Dr. Sutton's got a PhD. His wife is a educator, a counselor, and all of this stuff. But they have the same problems and struggles with their children like anybody else do. So we have to really get past the shame to really address the issues that need to be addressed, because sometimes you may not be able to reach that child, but they may have an uncle or aunt or cousin or somebody that they respect that can come to them in a manner that they're able to reach them. And a lot of these, like you said, Doc, a lot of these families, parents, or whoever don't know that a lot of this stuff not only is the internet, but a lot of this stuff is with these drugs that these kids is taking. And everybody can walk around with their head in the sand all they want to, but they out here popping these Percocets and all of this kind of stuff, and it makes them angry and violent. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of behavior that you may think is uncharacteristic for your children, it's coming from somewhere. And we need to address and investigate, where is this sudden change come from? Some of it is mental illness. Maurice and I, we been in the mental health field for a long time. Schizophrenia does not onset until early 20s. So if they start all of a sudden exhibiting this weird, strange behavior, you can't just write it off as that's just them. You need to do some homework. Find out, why is this all of a sudden you? So we just have to get past the stigma of being ashamed that we have problems. You don't have a monopoly on it. You got badass kids. You don't have a monopoly on having a badass kid. You got a troubled, mouthy young adult. You don't have a monopoly on it. A lot of us do. And we need to find out what strategies that we can use as a family, as a unit, to address these problems, instead of just letting them go until they get so bad, until somebody's dead or in prison.
You can use good points, Doctor. And see, I could tell you something else before we get to Gina. The things Sugar Mama Jones come on there. She's part of our family through my daughter and grandson. But my daughter Becky's really a Holy Road Bible toter. We call them. That don't mean that she just all run around saying hallelujah. It means Becky's saved, but she's saved because Sugar Mama Jones, Sugar Mama's mother, Miss Ann. That's who got my daughter in church. That's what helped my family. You feel me? I couldn't get in church, but somehow they had that dress me on Sunday, and they got one of those families. You know what I mean? Sugar Mom Nettie, Al, Coonton, and Tony. They in church, Doc. They the ones that play the drums. You know what I mean? You got the fan. One of them play the drums. I went in a choir. You know what I mean? They go over Miss Ann's house all the time after church. Everybody, they one of those kind of families. You feel me? My daughter Becky, and after her getting there, she's married to PK, a preacher's kid. You know what I mean? You look at Doc. You know what I mean? Crazy Ted. He's a PK. He's a preacher's kid. Look at Duke. You never know. He's a preacher's kid. I mean, they was always the thugs in the neighborhood. They was drug dealers. They was always, those kind of people, but that's what most preachers' kids are. They just had good hearts, but that's how somebody can be and help you, and you don't even know that they're helping you. So that sometimes we need help, and help comes in the form that we always know, and when you need it. Gina, on you.
I was just going to say, what Cece was saying, I agree with 100%, and Doc, I agree. When he mentioned how other cultures have foundations that they raise their children in a way that everybody in that culture takes part in their rearing. They know that if they have a problem, they have elders or people that they can go to and talk about a problem, where we don't really have that. And I think, and this is just my opinion, but I think that some of that comes from the fact that as slaves, we were just so ingrained with hiding everything. if you think about, we couldn't let anybody know we could read. We couldn't let anybody know darn near that we could speak, you know. So a lot of our mannerisms that have been passed down through generation to generation to generation is the fact that we were kind of taught these things. You know, like you say, our families were taught, you know, that to keep everything in the home, you know. But at the same time, I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people that if I see a family member that is out of order or not handling something right, I say it. Now my family necessarily doesn't agree with me because I address it right away. Because I said in one instance, there, you know, was a family member who actually tried to attack his grandmother, you know, and I told her beforehand that this was going to escalate to that point. You have an angry individual in your home that needs help. He claims he's going out to work every day and not going anywhere but sitting on a public bus and riding for hours and hours and hours and hours. You know, he needs mental help, you know, but you know, the more I said it, the more they kind of distanced themselves from me. I'm like, okay, fine, you know, but at least I said it. At least I'm not gonna ignore it like everybody else. Saying, "Oh, you going to work?" No, you're not going to work. He's going to sit on a damn bus and ride up and down the street. Why y'all trying to make, you know? But
act like
these are the things, like I said, that in our culture we don't have that, you know, that support system. You know, we would rather just shun that person off if they want to talk about it. Get them out the picture, like myself, get her out the picture so that we can go on and pretend like it's okay. Until, you know, like I said, until he went to go attack her. Then it's, you know, oh, well, I should have done something.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
You know, I'll bring this home so we can keep moving on topics. I don't, my as we say about a team, my position with this team here is not to always come up with the popular topics. You know what I mean? I know I like to talk about the Ravens kicking the 66-yard field goal. You know what I mean? My wife and I get ready to go on our honeymoon. No, not our honeymoon. What's going on? Anniversary?
Yeah.
We go back to where we get married every year in Jamaica. I like to talk about some topics and like to have the slick topic that Gene and them come up, or like to be loquacious and, you know, out there like that. But sometimes, y'all, that's why we call ourselves Simply Us. We regular people talking about some regular stuff. This was a topic that needed to be talked about. It needed to be talked about. We just need to give y'all some foundation, a format. Maybe you'll sit around in your house now and talk about it. But some of us, and I didn't say some of y'all, what did I say? Some of us. One more time, some of us have baggage that needs to be addressed. There's baggage that needs to be addressed before it hits the height that is, you know what I mean? Y'all know my line. I'm pissed to the height of pistivity. You know what I mean? Back in the days, somebody in the house, Doc, would always solve it. Somebody put their hands on you. What you just said about Gene, said, when you talk back to mom, one of my brothers hit you in your damn mouth. All that was over with. All that old slick talking, slick to mama was over with. I got 5 big brothers. One of them, you would say the wrong thing or mumble or something like that. My mother, you couldn't even mumble back or grit your teeth or nothing like that. My mother looked for a reason to get to slap you. And she would slap the shit out of you. Real talk. That's how they dealt with everything. Back in the day, it never got that far because somebody would put their hands on you. I don't think but y'all out there that's younger don't even know where cousins come from. Y'all don't even know the concept of cousins. The concept of cousins was who you got to go fight. The concept of cousins was who came to your house and eat. Concept of cousins was that was your real extended family. Your cousins get in trouble, they came live with you. People thought that some people was your brothers, wasn't your brothers, they was your cousins. Y'all remember when cousins looked alike? Y'all remember that? You would know somebody was your cousin, they look like you. But we have got the extended family so offbeat now. You know, y'all extended family now is the Crips and the Bloods. Somebody else treats you like something, the gang members. Your homeboy. Man, my cousin, man, me and my buddy, you ready to go whip my cousin? Yes. You want to beat your cousin up? You couldn't talk about it before it got there? That's what we do. This topic wasn't a popular topic, but this was a topic that needed to be talked about. I talked about it. I got some therapy in it because I'm going through it myself. So why not put it out here so I can learn? Let Doc go to school. Let him go off and do 8, 10, 12 years of his life running around. Let him go off and do all that. I'm going to bring it up on the podcast to get some free darn therapy. Let me get Gina's opinion, who over there talks about everything, who reads. My wife can't always give me her opinion because my wife knows sometimes I am, i.e., the epitome of what we talking about. My wife go up talking to me about something, I catch an attitude in her, right, baby?
This is true.
She 100% right. But because it's coming from her and I need somebody to lash out, I throw it at her. Now, my biggest setback in life is she don't give a damn. Cuss you out. You know what I mean? Y'all don't know the CC that I know. For everybody out there, Perkins and podcast land, the nice, friendly person that y'all see is not who's in my house, who's at my table, who's at the dining room, who's in the living room, who's in my bed. That is not her. Yeah, that's not the person that I married. My wife does not play with me, and she don't care about your feelings. My wife need to work on that. Her presentation to her husband should be a little better.
Yeah, y'all met my husband, so y'all know it's very necessary. So stop playing with me.
My husband tried to talk to my wife tried to talk to me for a minute about something. If I don't get it, it's cursing, fussing. You know what I mean? My wife is not a big time cursor. She's not a big time fusser. You know what I mean? When she gets to the point where she cuss at me or fuss, I know I'm wrong. That's when I go in the wrong. I know. Yeah,
that's his move, y'all. He go in the room.
Yeah, that's my rule. That's my move. Doc. Can't hear you, Doc.
No, I was just saying sometimes that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Go in that room.
I ain't messing up. I ain't messing up my house because of something. And then guess what? Guess what? The bad part, Gina and Doc, I know I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. That's when I leave. I know I'm wrong. Gina throws this in my face all the time. I could get another wife. Cece ain't the last wife on earth. I could get another wife. I could get somebody else that makes her money. I'll get somebody else in my house, but I can't get a better one for me. Gina throws it in my face all the time. I can't do any better than C. I know I can't. I don't want to. I ain't gonna put myself in a position. Doc, you can say whatever you want. You ain't gonna replace your wife. Ain't nobody gonna put up with you. Ain't nobody gonna watch you while you walking dogs. Gina, I don't mean to always throw Gina's feeling out there. I know I hurt Gina's feeling. My wife may say, Marius, maybe you say it too much, but Gina's my friend of over 60 years. She puts it out there so that you understand. Be careful sometimes. The person that there may be gone.
Right.
Tell you to help you. They may be gone.
I told my wife yesterday that was when we were celebrating 18 years, on yesterday. And
belated anniversary, Doc.
Thank you. Happy belated anniversary. And it was really something. I mean, I took her to a nice restaurant and everything, but I talked to her and I said, there is no woman in the world that could take me from you. I said, now you can push me away, but nobody can take me away. And then I don't care how much money they have, how big the butt is, and how their face is, they ain't nobody. And see, guys gotta, they kind of get it twisted because they think that the manhood piece is dealing with trying to see how many women I can have at the same time.
Mm.
And the thing is that the quality of the woman that you have at one time, you know what I'm saying? You'll never get a person that can actually bring the best out of you if you can't give them the best.
There you go.
You know,
Run, tell that.
Yeah.
Run, tell that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because I actually took a picture of us together and I sent them to all of my groomsmen that was there that day. And I did not know how much of an inspiration that somebody like me, because most of my groomsmen was dudes out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, in the whole nine, we had to have 2 receptions. We had to have one for the church, and then we had to have the other one that the church folk couldn't come to. You know what I'm saying? I had one that was real classy, and it was at the church, and everybody was there. And then I had to have one that was, you know, we had it at a hotel and with the DJ, and it was they was doing their drinking, they was doing everything. You know what I'm saying? But I had to have, you know, I couldn't mix the two.
Right. Oh, they weren't to be mixed.
Be able to party the same.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, you know, to have just show that I didn't know that sometimes you are inspiration and more people are watching you than what you think are watching. You know what I'm saying? And so
yeah, you know that.
So it was amazing because like one brother, you know, he was, you know, he had just got his divorce. Another one, you know what I'm saying? He had just got out of something. Another one, you know what I'm saying? And so really, you know, I saw that, you know, they was telling me, keep going, brother. They was like, keep going. They acting like I'm in the game or something. Like, you know, like this one Ravens game. They saying, keep going. Don't stop. You know, and to me, that is inspiring because unfortunately, we live in a culture where it's not cool in their eyes to have one woman. It's not, it's, you know, that's like a square. You being a square. And they don't understand, you know, the significance of being able to pour in, you know what I'm saying, into an investment. You know, and I think that's the big difference as far as with that. I tell my guys all the time, I say, you do one of two things with women. I said, you either spend time or you kill time. You know what I'm saying? And so if it's not going somewhere, you just killing time. They ain't going nowhere. But when it's an investment, I'm not thinking about today. I'm thinking about 20 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Right. Why I ain't thinking about that. And so, you know, I think that now if you got somebody that cook and take care of you and take care of the children and they take care of you sexually and intimately and your fantasies, you know, that's just the extra.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cream. That's the cream that go on the cake. That's the extra piece. That's the ice cream put on it. But if you got that foundation with somebody loyal and say, I got your back, that's something that you can't replace.
You know, everybody out there, this was a good topic for people that needed to hear. Hopefully you got something out of it. Even when Doc was talking about the 2 wedding receptions, that makes me laugh. Shout out to my buddy Steve E. Hustling back in the day. This was many moons ago. You can relate to this, Doc, where he had his he was one of us. That's when we was getting money. When persons out there that's getting a lot of money, y'all call them drug dealers. That's what we are. Let's call it what it is. Getting a lot of money. We showed off with shoes, right, Doc? The shoe game.
Mm-hmm.
That was our demonstration. The shoe game, Dan Brothers. You know what I mean? You go down there, I go in the back of Dan's. When you go up and get your outfit, and the boy Lawrence Parker made it, and you knew that he made Ted's outfit. But the shoe game, the boy Steve, his wife was Holy Roller Bible told him. So they had their reception thing. And then the next reception he had was for us. Doc, everybody had their they went up there and spoke for a minute. I just said, I got it plain and simple, Jack. Boy, if you want to know how Steve doing, check out our shoe game. And I walked off stage. That was it. I walked off stage. Look underneath of them tables. We'll be sitting at the tables, a round table, Gina, Doc, Cece. And you look under there, man, I mean crocodiles, gators. I'm talking some shoes. You feel me? We were spending $900 on a pair of shoes. Confused as hell. That's all we knew. But he had these two lives going on. You know what I mean? These shoes wouldn't have been in church. You wouldn't have wore these at church. You wore your Stacey Adams, some Comforts, some nice shoes, but you ain't wear them. You can be living two lives. But can you incorporate two lives together? Doc listens at his wife. His wife told him, when you get over there, I don't care if you got a PhD, but Cece said, I don't care if I'm the counselor, nothing like that. Your son is up here and he acted a fool and he's fighting and stuff like that. Shut your mouth.
Right.
Shut your mouth. Yeah, you humbly shut your mouth. My wife, Cece, gets over there, gets on my nerves, get to talking, fussing at me and stuff like that. And I'll go to my room like a kid. I go to my room. First of all, you want to know why? Because I ain't fixing dinner. I'm about to be hungry in a couple of hours. You feel me? I ain't fixing my dinner. My wife fixed dinner. I ain't get ready to go over there, and I ain't get ready. I was one day starting to figure out how to turn the vacuum cleaner on. I don't use the vacuum cleaner. You know what I mean? My wife don't drag moon bounces around. So I pick and choose my battles, as they say, and I know when to shut up. All right, I'll bring this topic home before we leave out here. It's amazing, though, to the Black family. We may not go off and talk to anybody about our structure or stuff that we need, but we always got a go-to person for some damn money. You ain't got no problem calling Party Marty for some damn money. Doc always say, when they call me, when they running down the street and the bullets is ricocheting off the wall in the alley and they ducking behind the police car, here's their call to Doc. But you ain't called me the whole time when you got your stimulus check. You ain't called me none of these times when you first got your package. You ain't make none of them calls then. But as soon as you call Doc, here you go. Help! Help! Ain't that some shit? You know
Just
what I mean? There you go, man. It's time to call Doc. You didn't call Doc. He talks to you. He gives you therapy. You ain't listening to nothing to him and his wife wanted to say. He invites you over his home to talk about your situation, but you ain't do that. You know what I mean? Gina Lee, how many people call and tell you, hey, Jack, I like your car. You think when you wash it, I help you dry it? No. But I need you to take me to the market. Gina! That's the same car. That's the same car. I need gas sometimes. I need to be washed.
Right, they even beg you. They beg you without even talking to you these days. They don't call you, say, "Did you die in your sleep? How you feeling? You got COVID or nothing?" But they'll send you a Cash App request real quick.
My wife called that the new form of begging.
Electronic.
All right, y'all. We
begging.
spent enough time on that. I pray that everybody listens to this presentation, us pouring our hearts out and stuff like that. Gina Lee, let's change pace. What you got for us today, baby? Give us one of your topics.
Well, good morning, podcast land. I'm going to move on with this topic. And this topic is about John Hinckley. And I guess y'all ask, well, who the heck is John Hinckley?
I heard the name, but I don't know who he is.
I know.
John
I know
Hinckley
you know, Doc.
is the person who tried to assassinate President Reagan.
Huh?
If you remember, back in 1981, President Reagan was coming out the hotel getting in his limo with his press secretary, the Secretary of State, policemen, everybody, well guarded. And John Hinckley came out of nowhere and started firing shots. Well, he shot the president. He shot James Brady, who was his House press secretary. He shot Michael Deaver, who was Michael Deaver was one of the police officers. He shot 2 policemen, and he shot a Secret Service agent who was also shot in the chest. 6 people he shot. Okay? So he went to jail, of course. Now, President Reagan survived. I think he just had a grazed wound, but James Brady was shot and was paralyzed for the rest of his life. He passed away in 2014, and they said that it was as a result of that homicide. So the now this man is now, when he went to court, first of all, he was tried but found not guilty by reason of insanity. Okay. So he's been in institution after institution since then. And in 2016, they let him out of the institution, but he had all kinds of restrictions. So he really couldn't do anything more. It was just that he wasn't in an institution. Okay. But so now he's 66 years old. And they're trying to get him released because the judge seems to think that he's no longer a threat to society. Okay. Now I say to myself, and this is just my opinion again, this man shot at the president of the United States.
Right. That part.
Okay. And we have African American men incarcerated for life with no parole who have shot at Pookie round the corner. Some of them, they didn't even hit Pookie. You know, but they got life. But this man, because of his sentence, not guilty by reason of insanity. And they claim that's the reason that he's eligible to be released.
Let me tell you something, Jane. I hate to cut you off, but I just wanted to jump in there while it was on my mind. You know that, like I said, as a mental health worker, that is the biggest catch-22 in the world. Not criminally responsible is what they call it in the state of Maryland, because that means you can either do a day or you can do the rest of your life. It's up to the doctor. Once they feel like you're no longer a threat to yourself or others, then you're free to go. So that's why so many of the wonderful people jump right on that not criminally responsible train, because they know whereas though they may be facing life in prison, all they got to do in a mental institution is play nice, and they out of there.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And if you recall, the reason he claimed he did this was because he was obsessed with Jodie Foster, the actress, and he was trying to impress her. Okay. So part of his, I guess you would call it parole or whatever, he can't go near any of the Hinckley family or any of the families of the victims that were involved in the incident. He can't contact Jodie Foster or any of her family members or anything like that. And you know, I just think it's ridiculous. I just think it's ridiculous that it's really like you say, a slap in the face. It's really, really you know, it's not, this is the law not being balanced. This is it. This is a prime example of how the law is handled when a white individual, and Again, it's not a black or white show, but this is how the law is handled for a white individual as opposed to an African American or brown person, should I say.
Absolutely. Here he is proven to have committed the crime. Everybody, I mean, broad daylight in front of everybody. And they gonna release him. And I was just reading an article this morning about, Doc probably knows about this, but October the 2nd at the University of Maryland School for Social Work, from 1 to 3. One of the, I'm not sure if the exact name is the Innocence Project. I know that is one, but one of these organizations that represent people who have been imprisoned and wrongly convicted, they are having an event there because it's just so many people that are in prison that are wrongly convicted. Look at the Harlem Park 3. You know, those men spent over 20 years in jail, and they were clearly, the evidence clearly pointed to the fact that they were innocent. You know what I'm saying? They coerced the other students at Harlem Park School to identify them because they were in the building and they no longer went to the school. You know, and they spent over 20 years in prison for that. Until later on, of course, somebody came back and said, I lied, I recanted my story and all of this, when the evidence was clear that they didn't do it. But here we have Mr. Hinckley, who admits it. Everybody saw it, everybody knows it, and all he got to do is stay away from Foster.
That's crazy. I mean, because to be honest with you, to plot on the president is actually treason. Treason can actually be dealt with the death penalty.
Yeah.
You have to get, really, to be honest with you, that's what's on the table first for trying to kill the president, that's because that goes along under the grounds of trying to overthrow the government. And so I don't care. You can't just jump out and say that I like Kelly Rowland, or I like Rihanna, or I like Beyonce so much that I think she was going to go to a hotel with me if I tried to shoot at the president. You can't go out like that.
That's crazy.
That was considered treason. And so, you know, for him to have that opportunity now, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer of second chances.
Sure.
But to me, that level of danger, as far as with him, he should have been in a mental institution if you have deemed him unsuitable to be able to think clearly for himself, you know, now. But to even talk about this when we got so many people that's doing life and life plus 20, you know, and when they, like with the feds, when they talking about months, and you talking about 180 months and 90 months, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, this is to me, it's wrong.
And then look at the level of planning to do something that it takes to try to assassinate the president. You know what I'm saying? You just didn't wake up one morning and you was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know what I'm saying? This takes a level of planning, you know, to bypass the Secret Service, to be in the right place, to catch them at the right moment. You know what I'm saying? Nothing about that level of planning says to me that you were not, you know, that you are not. I mean, of course, to think that you're doing it to impress Jodie Foster, yeah, that's, you know, that's a whole nother subject. But, you know, this is not like you were out of your mind at the moment, which is supposed to be the burden for being not criminally responsible. It's supposed to be like a person just snapped. But that took a great deal of planning to get that done.
That was on my court docket, Doc Ted, premeditation. That's a whole nother charge, premeditated. When they charged me with attempt murder, premeditation carried a whole different thing. If y'all don't know out there in podcast land, Doc, I can see you got something. Let me say this. Y'all don't know how many charges go into one charge when you break the law. Watch out when you break the law. I didn't know how many charges I could get for shooting at somebody who would rob me. You know what they gave you? Possession of a handgun, discharging a handgun in the city limits, listen, I had some coke on me because I've always had coke, sniffing some coke, had some dope. So I had some heroin in a dollar bill crushed up. You know how you crush it up in a dollar bill, got the little straw. They gave me manufacturing and distribution of heroin, something that was chopped up in a dollar bill. Manufacturing and distribution of marijuana, which was a joint they found in the ashtray. It's a whole bunch of charges going with something. If convicted with all these, I'm gonna get like 290 years. I asked him, and that's what I told the boy Eric Davis in the cell next to me. I said, Jack, who they talking about? What they say I killed the president? They try to say I shot the president. We laugh as a joke. And what's Gina's topic today? Oh, somebody shooting the president. Right. We always think that's the most heinous crime that you commit in the history of crimes. Doc say that's treason. And as Gina said, it's not a black show or white show or nothing like that. But how do you even come up or even be considered to come home? You talk about overthrowing a government. You kill a president. The word that they use podcast
cool.
is cool.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, this is that's what they do over there in Africa. That's what they do over there to dictate. That's a coup. What them people did when they stormed the Capitol, that's a coup. You talk about the government. If you take the head off the snake, they say the snake is no more problem. When they say that you destroy, when you kill the president, they think we go into instant anarchy. We're automatically in chaos. That's what everybody believes. That the vice president is just a spearhead, a figurehead. They don't think he can do the next man up. They could kill the president, they in trouble over there. So this man literally shot the president on tape. Everybody knows he did it, accused of it, prosecuted for it, found guilty. But now because he's old, and how old did you say he is now?
66.
Guess what? Me and Gina get ready to be 65.
And we still be in jail.
Still be in jail.
Locked down black ass up.
For sure.
They offered me 18 years. No, 17 years, be home in 8. Like you say, for shooting Pookie, who was shooting at me.
That's insane.
You feel me? This is a gun battle. They know good and well he shot at me. Everybody said he shot at me. I shot at him. But they'll offer me 17 years, come home in 8. He gonna get this man gonna be locked up all of a sudden, he can come home.
Because he's not criminally responsible.
Yeah, he only 66. Yeah, he's not criminally responsible, but yet he figured out all this, how to get the gun in, get a plastic gun, so it go through the metal detector, go upstairs on the second floor, climb out the window, so they don't see you coming down the steps. You put all this together, but you crazy. Right. Get out. That's a good topic. Hey, CC, what you talking about today? I saw you studying for quite some time at the dining room table. Sitting at the dining room table fixing my breakfast, but that's another topic for another podcast show.
And don't you even sit up here and tell that when you know daggone well you got your breakfast first, so don't play.
It sounded good. Hey, Ted, it sounded good, though, didn't it? Didn't it sound good, Gina? Sound like I'm being deprived. What you got, see?
My topic is a doctor's license was suspended for providing blank signed COVID-19 exemption forms. Mm-hmm. Now, this was in Connecticut, and the doctor's name is, we got to call her out, Sue McIntosh of Durham. Her physician's and surgeon's license has been suspended for providing blank signed exemption forms related to COVID-19, COVID testing, general vaccines, and medical opposition to wearing face masks. She would provide the exemption forms to anyone who gave her a self-addressed stamped envelope. And he would sign the forms and for vaccines and masks, and told people they could copy and distribute the forms as they wished, and to keep blank copies for themselves in case they needed them in the future. And her, as a direct quote, she said, "Keep blank copies for yourself for future use and let freedom ring." So and according to the Department of Health in Connecticut, an exemption calls for a clinical assessment of the patient's condition to determine if the vaccination poses a risk to patient health. She provided these to these people sight unseen. Like I said, all you had to do was send a self-addressed stamped envelope. And of course, they set her up. They had a public health official anonymously send her a self-addressed stamped envelope, and she sent them back 4 blank copies,
Mm-hmm.
and told them use them as he wished and let freedom ring. Now, this kind of stuff, this reminded me of the story that Gina told us about the $10 COVID cards. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
to become a doctor, and doctor knows firsthand because he is a doctor, how many years of schooling do you have to go through to become a doctor? How much money do you have to put out to secure that degree? I mean, you went through all of this, and now and this lady had a physician's license and a surgeon's license, and you went and threw all of that away for let freedom ring. I mean, they have made this whole COVID situation so political until they had people really losing their mind. Let freedom ring. You saying that you think that to take the vaccine. I mean, let's call it what it is. You saying that you think that this infringes upon people's freedom, to have these mandates and stuff in place. But you threw it all away for nothing. Now, first of all, they know who you are. So anybody that you provided an exemption for is not acceptable. It's not going to be taken anywhere. They're not going to be able to use it anywhere. And now your career is gone. You probably about to go to prison. You done lost your license. I mean, this thing I'm all for people making their own decisions. I'm all for do whatever you feel is comfortable for you. But I'm also all for when your rights start to infringe upon the rights of others, then that's a problem for me. And I'm just speaking for me. But some of these people, I mean, the stuff that people are doing, this right here is like beyond stupid to me. And sometimes you find that the most educated people don't have not one lick of common sense, because
No.
common sense should have dictated, like, seriously, come on, do better.
I want to let y'all know, good topic, CC. We're going to be on this for a minute. I know that. It's a good topic. Let's show y'all just how sharp I am when I pick my panels. When I tell y'all my team that I put together, we talking about an idiot with a PhD, a doctor. Well, guess what? The first person I have for you to comment on that situation is a person with a PhD, a doctor. That's what that shows how awesome I am. This is the team that I'm putting together for you. That person right there, current event, boarded up, and I have what you call, if we went in court, will be called a specialist to give their opinion on it first. Doc, we start with you.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's offensive, and it's to be honest with you. I mean, I kind of feel like it's somebody that really don't even believe that this is so severe. Like some of those Trumpers, I don't even feel that he believes. And when you do that, already you feel that this ain't a big deal. That's one. And then you allow greed to supersede your integrity. And that's where the key piece. To be the bare minimum, you got to put in at least 9 years, at least 9 years. And so for a person to not care to put other people in jeopardy, because my whole thing is, if you believe that strongly in your roots, don't get the vaccine and tell everybody you're not, so you can protect them.
Right.
You've gone with some conspiracy theory. That's your belief. You're not going to get it, so you might lose your job. You might not be able to come to the cookout. You might not be able to come to Thanksgiving. but you're letting everybody know this is where I stand. And then you may die alone.
Right.
People just have to come to your funeral.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully when you've died, hopefully on your deathbed, you may have left a message of change. Hopefully on your deathbed, you have let somebody in the family member, you've let a family member, I know I was wrong. I listened to the wrong people, you know, and I think that, so for, you know, a person that is in a position, when you are a physician, when you're dealing with giving out medication, people are putting their lives in your hand. And so to me, it's offensive, you know, to even go in that direction. I mean, that's a good topic because you don't hear a lot about this. To me, you don't. It's happening, but you don't hear, you know, a lot about this. I had somebody come to me, well, pretty much, and they were asking, can they get a fake letter from the church to say that because of their religion, they don't have to take, you know, the vaccine to give to their job. And I was like, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. That was my straight up, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
And if I find out anybody that you're trying to get one from, I'm gonna tell them they shouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's just the reality of the world, Doc, that people have to realize that in certain professions that you are in certain walks in life, period, people will hold you to a higher standard. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing, one of the first things that doctors agree to and as part of their medical oath is to do no harm. You know what I'm saying? So you do no harm. You think that you keeping harm from coming to the person who you falsifying these documents for. But what about the harm that you're doing to the people that they come into contact with?
Right. The Hippocratic Oath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of being, and it didn't mean to be a hypocrite.
Right.
Gina.
You know what I'm gonna say. You know, it's just what do you call it? Party Marty. Not stupid. What's the word you always? Damn fool. There you go.
Damn fools.
Right.
Damn fools.
That's it. That's all I got to say. Just damn fools.
Damn.
That you would throw your life's work away for some cash.
And
When
the
the cash that you
but the thing about this one that made it extra stupid, Gina, was she wasn't even doing it for money.
She wasn't even doing it for the money.
She wasn't even doing it for
She
money.
was
All
just
you had to
doing
do
it
was
to
sit up for the cost of a stand. That's what she threw her career away.
She
for.
just wanted to defy political, you know, the political stance of mandates. That's all.
Right.
Hey,
But see, we gotta really remember that some of these people, they have been hypnotized and they drank the Kool-Aid so much that they really believe that that there's a side that's holding the flag and that our rights are being taken away, and we're going to try to help people to help break the law. We're going to help people to not have their rights taken away. And the thing is that so you didn't care though in all of these years that brothers have been being pulled out of cars and beaten with nightsticks. You ain't go out there and march about that. You ain't see nothing wrong with people, you know, saying, you know, being sent to jail and sent to prison at a staggering rate, unjustly. Mm-hmm. But you were going to defy the government and the government mandates to prove a point for an old president that really don't care about you.
Who also got the vaccine.
Ain't got the vaccine. I mean, so do you see how insane that sounds? I mean, and it's really sad, but it can anger you to just see that people who are supposed to be intelligent. Now, if they got a degree in a doctor or whatever the situation, they got to be at least something intelligent, something.
Right.
But you have defied all logic to go against something because you feel that you are standing up for a side that's being mistreated, and that's insane right there.
And another thing, go down to the gas electric company or the mortgage company and tell them that you can't pay your bills because you was trying to make a point and you was trying to keep people's freedoms from being taken away. Tell me how that work out for you.
Let me be the person that you're talking to behind the desk. Hello, Mr. Grayson. What did you say? You don't have your money because you got your license taken away because you was sending off documents for free? Let me get a name for you. Wait a minute. Damn fool. Damn fool. Yeah, that's all I can say. Hey, that reminds me of something. This ain't really a funny joke or nothing like that, but it just made me think back about it. I'm the fearless leader, so I can come up with some stuff. But y'all may or may not be old enough to remember Abbott and Costello. Abbott and Costello was two of the funniest comedians you ever seen. Abbott was the short, fat guy, called his name Abbott, and Costello was the straight guy. They came up with who's on first, what's on second. I don't know who's on third. That was them. But they had something when Abbott Costello joined the Foreign Legion. Abbott and Costello was over there in the place. They was talking to the guy. And the guy said, yeah, we're going to go over there. We're going to go over there. We're going to take the town over. Vive la France. And everybody hollered, Vive la France, Vive la France, Vive la France. So they gave him the plan. He said, here's what we're going to do. Abbott and Costello, y'all going to go down to the town. You're going to ride down there. You're going to take the guns. You're going to shoot everybody and blow up the place. Vive la France. So they said, Vive la France, Vive la France, Vive la France. So they was looking at the plan. And Abbott was saying, Vive la France. He was vigilantly, Vive la France. Costello said, okay, so how do we do when we escape? We come out the back and you know, we come around the side and y'all come get us. The guy said, escape? What escape? Vive la France. He kept saying, somehow when they was listening at this plan, Abbott turned around and said, Vive la France. Costello said, I don't understand this plan. This plan ain't got no escape to it. Ain't got no plan B. How do y'all come get us? He said, come get you. What are you talking about? Vive la France. Come on, man. You go over there down there and blow up yourself and you gonna get 7 virgins. You ain't had no virgins in your town. You know what I mean? Suicide bombers. Remember back in the day, we called them Japanese, we called them champs. That was their plan. They call kamikaze pilots. Remember that? They have a big party for them and have sex and all this kind of stuff. And they get in their plane, they got just enough gas to fly out there and dive into the ship. And they'll come back. Hey, Jack, there's something wrong with that plan, Jack. There's something wrong with that plan. You went over there, sent somebody this information. Doc said you need 9 years, a minimum, to get a PhD. You in school from 12 to 13 years, depending on if you went to the kindergarten. That's 13, and that's 22 years. You are still a damn fool after 22 years? Vive la France? 7 virgins is how you blew yourself up?
Oh, Lord.
Over there, you ain't got enough plane, you ain't got enough gas in your plane to come back. Man, what the hell is wrong with people? What's wrong with people? A person said, send me a self-addressed envelope. Didn't even say, send me a self-addressed envelope with $1 in it. They went over there and told all them people that was over there, Doc, Gene, and CC, y'all, I don't know if y'all, we're going to talk about this a little later because I need some of y'all is doing some research. But you know, Pookie and them over there that stormed the Capitol, I don't know if y'all know, been reading on this. I've been doing a little looking on it. They locking their dumb asses up.
Mm-hmm.
They locking their dumb asses up. And guess what they doing out there? Wonderful people in podcast land, what y'all doing? You telling on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They telling, hey, Ted, Gina, CC, them chumps is telling on everybody. People that ain't even in the picture. One guy was saying, nah, I mean, she wasn't there, but she gave me a ride to the airport. Ain't nobody even answer. He gave me a ride to the airport. You wouldn't. He told on his sister. Said his sister and him was reading about it, and his sister couldn't go. She gave him a ride to the airport. You told on your sister. Hey, you said we want about us, beautiful people, but we don't tell so easy. Now, as we get hit in the mouth, we tell. I mean, didn't I ask you? Oh, okay, I'm gonna tell you, but him, he did it. He out back. Yeah, we tell after blood on our shirt, but we don't just volunteer to tell. Y'all out here just telling. You didn't think about it. Your conspiracy wasn't cool. You going to prison, and you trying to take everybody with you. Man, that person over there, that doctor that just now got dummy that's going for some stamps. That ain't the only doctor that did that, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
She get ready to tell on everybody.
And guess what?
Walgreens gave it a stamp.
Because she got caught by anonymous tip. So
somebody told on her.
Exactly.
Somebody told on her.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Somebody called the health department and said, all you got to do is send a self-addressed stamped manila envelope to her address for every person you would like an exemption for, and she'll mail signed documentation for you to fill out certifying an allergy.
Ain't that?
Hey, we need her for them weed.
She thought she was doing something good. She thought she was doing something good.
Right. And the same one that you thought you was helping is the one that turned you in.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. That don't make any sense. All right, John. Hey, Doc. Well, I know you talked a little bit on everything. You got a topic, or you want to just continue to respond with everything?
Right now, I was just responding with everything.
That's what hey, Doc, I hate to say that, but that's what I love about you. Your opinion is mass. Hey, Gina, I looked at my wife's notes, so I saw one of your topics and stuff, and I want to go home with this topic right here. Gina, what's your second topic? Let's talk.
Well, I think you kind of brought it up yesterday on your show, Real Sports.
Yeah.
But many of y'all might not know that I work at M&T Bank Stadium for security. And about last game, not the last game, the last home game, which was against the Chiefs, there was fight after fight after fight in the stands. One of the incidents you might have seen on TikTok or one of these social media sites was Patrick Mahomes' brother, Jackson, pouring water on one of the Ravens fans, a girl. Now, the girl, she was mouthing off. She was, like taunting him because the Ravens was coming back. It was almost the end of the game, and they was making a rally back. Well, he had enough of it, and he took his bottle of water, opened it up, and poured it on the girl's head. Well, of course, that incited almost a riot, because first of all, there were certain people who first was backing her up, so they more or less picked her up and brought her out onto the main platform where the concession stands are to get her away from him. But then a lot of people who were in the stands also felt uncomfortable and came out also. So you had about 200, 300, maybe 400 people all coming out on this platform at the same time. And I'm standing there as security. Okay? I tell you where I went. I went to because at first I said maybe I could de-escalate this, but I couldn't even get to the girl. There were so many people out there, I couldn't even get to her. And as they were rushing, they were pushing me up against the railing of the stadium. The stadium railing is to me, it's about chest high. For a person that might be your height, Doc, or Party, that might come about maybe your waist.
Right.
So if somebody really wanted to do you harm, they could throw you over that railing. So I started moving with the group. I found a corner because at first I thought to get on the elevator. But then I said, no, if I get on the elevator, 40 other people going to get on there with me and we all going to plunge to our death. So I went beside the elevator and it was a little space between the elevator wall and the railing. And I stood there as they passed me to get to the ramp. And then eventually I said, okay, as it started to thin out a little bit, I said, I'm going down the ramp. I'm not staying up here. I'm not going, because I really seriously was, for the first time, I'd never been afraid at a game. Never. I was actually afraid that I could go over the side of that railing because they were actually moving me without me walking. They were moving me. That's how many people were out there. Okay. So I bring this up because also, by the way, I won't be going back.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
I bring this up because I read an article, it broke my heart because I said to myself, this is exactly what I was talking about. A mother and her 2-year-old child were sitting at a lunch table at Petco Park Stadium in San Diego, California.
Yeah.
Her child went over to the railing. She thought that because the railing was there, he would be okay. He slipped under the railing. She went diving after him, and the both of them went down 6 stories and died.
Wow.
6 stories. And this was, get this was only a 3-level stadium. M&T Bank is 5. That's where I was. Okay. 6 stories high was 3 levels. And she died. Both of them. The father tried to catch her. She was trying to catch her son, and he couldn't get up from the table fast enough. But then you had incidents like there was a fight at the Chiefs game at Arrowhead Stadium just a couple days ago at where one of the Chiefs fans knocked out one of the other team fans. Knocked him completely out in the stadium. Okay, and then you have another brawl at LA Angels games where 7 people were arrested and a woman broke her arm. Okay, then you got Cowboys fans, pummeled Chargers fans in the parking lot at SoFi Stadium in Dallas. It's really becoming an issue, the level of violence that people are willing to exude. And I really think it partly has to do with the climate that the former president has raised in our culture. You know, it's like people are willing to do and say anything, anywhere. And they know, see, the thing is, they know that they got cameras on all of these incidents. I assume, because they, you know, they got pictures of all of these people, you know, that did these things. So it's not like they you know, were inconspicuous or anything. You know, I'm in a stadium, they have cameras so extensive that they can actually see your mouth moving. You know, I mean, I'm sure this man knew that he had to be on camera. He had to. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they don't care. They don't care, and they don't care who they harm. Because, like I say, I was just an innocent person on the job, and I could have gone over that railing because it was, like I said, it just came to they could have picked me up without me even trying and pushed me over that railing. You know, so it's really, I don't really know what to say, how to address it, because the police department is already thin because so many police officers have either retired or resigned because of a lot of the incidents and because of the fact that they now have to be held accountable. You know, so I don't even really know how to, fortunately, now this is the thing I say is a fortunate thing. In most stadiums, they have the scanners. So we know that, or pretty sure that you have not brought a weapon into the stadium. You've got to go through the metal detector, you know, and we check bags and all of that kind of stuff too. So that's a fortunate aspect of it, but it's really it's becoming just ridiculous that you can't even go. I mean, I just saw an article just a couple of days ago where kids were at Six Flags in DC, just running through the parking lot, jumping on people's cars, smashing their windows. A group of juveniles. Just why? Just smashing windows. You can't even take your kids to Six Flags.
But you know what, Gina? It's just indicative of the society that we live in now. It's just people are so lawless, so reckless. They have no regard for anybody but themselves. You know, so what if you could have pushed Gina off of there? You know what? So what if if you out here jumping up and down on people's cars, damaging their property for no reason, and that may be the only means of transportation somebody have to get to work to feed their sick child or their dying mother. You know what I'm saying? So what if it's not? This is a society that we live in that if it's not about me, if it don't benefit me, then I don't care about it. You know, this generation is something special. I'm telling you,
and I
not
feel
in a good way.
You know,
this has been the perfect storm with a pandemic. Coming out of the pandemic, people been locked up in the house. People haven't been able to go somewhere. Then they had cardboards with pictures of people in the stands, you know, and everything. And then you're dealing with the social climate we just coming out of. We dealing with all of this social injustice that we've been dealing with, and we've been dealing with two sides. So you got black people and people who support the, you know, how we've been marching against the injustice. Then you got people, you know, saying who just feel that, you know, no, we just need to wave the flag and we need to, you know, if you love this country or leave it, and you know, and all this and that. And so, you know, when you bring, you know, all of this energy, you know, to, and then you feel like your team is losing. See, most people don't understand that some of these games are one thing, but for certain cities, and I've been to a lot of them, and I'll say like Baltimore, you know, is more of a working city, it's a working class city. That's how it was when we were building ships and different things at Sparrows Point, you know, and all this and that. You know, this is you know, it's a working class, you know, it was a working class city. Sports means so much to working class cities. Just like when you go to Pittsburgh, love them or leave them, you know what I'm saying, you know, they are working class, and so they really die hard for them. Like when you, like if you deal with like Oakland, the Oakland Raiders, you know, and different places that I have been, you know what I'm saying, you know, that's just how it is. But when you bring that type of energy, you know, and then you're talking about all of this, this has been the perfect storm. Coming out of a pandemic, they letting you out. This is the first time we're not social distancing. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time we getting together and actually coming together. You know what, that was really something. And then when you add that Trumpism on top of it, of people who feel entitled, I mean, people really felt disrespected because Colin Kaepernick said that I'm trying to bring attention to all of these people being killed by officers. And I'm not, and then actually, if you ever listen to, you know, what is it, the Star Spangled Banner, and, you know, if you ever listen to the end of it, you will see what it's talking about. It's talking about slaves and talking about slaves and all of that stuff. And I said, so, but people have gotten so entitled that Trump has made them feel like we shouldn't say a word about what they're doing. All we need to be doing is waving a flag. Every time we getting arrested, every time we getting beat, every time that we are going to jail, every time your child is getting shot, we just need to be waving a flag. And that's so bringing this energy into a game that particular game, the one with the Chiefs, that was, I mean, that kick, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, actually, you know, that kick was the last one, but you know, that everything that happened down to the last seconds, you know what I'm saying, there was some emotion there that I knew was going to be some tension, you know, all over. And a lot of times people have not been able to handle all of these different things alike. So all it really takes is like 1 or 5 people. You get 5 people acting crazy, and you could get everybody on the road that see them to be right getting hyped up, and then everybody on the other road that see them to be wrong, and they gonna be on the other end hyped up. And so, you know, we are dealing with really what would be considered the perfect storm. In fact, actually, that y'all needed more protection and more people to deal with opening up all of these doors after people been locked down and coming out of this social injustice and dealing with the social climate and the political climate. They see all games a little bit different. And you know, and so y'all, you should have never been nowhere by yourself on up against some railing. You know what I'm saying? And
let me ask a question, Gina. At a rough estimate, how many security persons are in the stadium?
About 40.
And how many fans were there?
71,000. 71,700.
You see what I'm saying?
It was sold out.
I tell you all the story when I first went.
Insane.
I tell you the story when I first went, when I got locked up over city jail, when I caught my charge. And, you know, first I was just there for a minute. I go in and out. You know, this time when they offered me this 17 years, I'm realizing this may be my new way of life. I'll never forget going out to the mass yard that day. You know what I mean? Gonna pop, bopping, pimping, you know what I mean? West Baltimore, Party, Marty, doing my thing. I'm talking with the boy Count, rest in peace. Count over there. All right, Party, yes, what's up, Jay? We walking. And as I'm talking, yeah, I was just telling, man, the girl getting this money, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, when I actually hit that mass yard, when I hit that opening where the doors come open at, and I looked out there, as I was walking, my knees literally buckled. And my nephew Frank, I'm no whore. I'm no whore. But the actual act of knowing what I had just done, that this is my life now. When there's 600-700 inmates going out there, all in this mass yard, Gina thinks that they playing baseball. What do you play baseball with? Bats. We out here with bats. They lifting up the courtyard, have steel weights all over the place. It's intimidating. I'm walking down there, my knees went to buckle. When Count just grabbed me and, yeah, Jack, man, you know them Ravens look good. He just whispered to me, he said, Paul, don't let them see that. Don't let them see that fear that you're giving them right now. They're waiting for some kind of weakness. Now, a week later, it don't matter. I'm the wildest cat in the yard. But right then, when it just happened, you know what I mean? That intimidation, that fear. I knew there's nothing that three guards come out there with us for 700 inmates. There's nothing possible that 3 guards can do to help me if they decide to harm me. Gina, 41 of anything, even if they was armed with AK rifles, there's nothing that they could do with 7,000, 70,000 of anybody.
Right.
Pretty much done. Like Doc said, you're in a lose-lose situation with that thing. I'm glad you're out of there. I'm not telling everybody not to go to the Raven games or the games and stuff because I can't wait to go myself. But I'm saying you got to make better choices. And I think a lot of us thoughts exactly what you were talking about. This is a terrible thing to give this man, Mr. Trump, any more airtime than he deserves. We're glad that he's out of there. But he literally, put a lot of us in this position. He made people so entitled that they became, you know what I mean, this arrogancy. It is really the domino effect, and it affected everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Some really good topics today. Gina's gone. Gina, thank you for everything, for your 2 topics. CC, our engineer, for doing that thing. Dr. Ted and myself. We get ready to get up out of here. We're going to do some closing thoughts. When it's all over with, like I'm saying, y'all don't hear this, but Cece's going to say, hey, new record today. 2 hours. 2 hours. When she on the podcast with y'all, I'm going to tell on her. I'm going to do like the wonderful people did. I'm going to tell on her. When she over there, she don't say nothing about this the whole time. She's really doing her job. And when she come over there now, when she picked up her little smoothie, you know, my wife doesn't eat now. Well, what do you eat? See, 1 meal a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 1 meal a day. The rest of them is smoothies. So she got a certain time to drink a smoothie. You see her get up and get it? Got a smoothie.
I had to because I'm already an hour past my time.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm saying. Now, did you hear? That's all she wanted to say. Now, see how polite she was with y'all? That's the very cutting edge of what I'm going to get. Mom, I'm going to hit in there. Baby, you know we got to go back to the fish store to take the fish back. I bet I ain't going nowhere. I bet I ain't going. Here we go. All right, y'all. Closing thoughts, y'all. First of all, hands up to an awesome show. Out there in podcast land, what I want to tell y'all is we talk on all different types of topics. Today we talked about some topics and stuff that people needed to hear. If we stepped on a few toes and stuff, good. And if we helped you, good. If we didn't, maybe you need to address it. You're not going to be part of every topic that we have, or you may not like every topic that we come up with. But today, some topics that I wanted to say. Violence out there in the sports place needs to be addressed. CC, what was your topic, C?
The doctor giving the people the exemptions for the blank COVID exemptions.
I like to call CC topic damn fool. Just a damn fool. People throwing their life away. Damn fool. Doctor came up with us and told us something that was important. You're in school 12, 13 years, according if you go to the kindergarten. And then you got a minimum of 9 years to get your PhD. So people have been in school over 20 years. That's a person's lifetime. They come out just as dumb as they was when they went in. Some of this don't make any sense. My topic is address situations that need to be addressed in your home. If you need somebody to talk to, Dr. Ted does this for a living. I don't know how much he'll charge you, but I know you can always find a way to talk in his ear. He don't even know to stop talking to you and wait till you start talking about the bill or what insurance you have. If he can help you, he's just gonna keep right on talking. You can get some free therapy. He don't know no better. He don't know no better. All you gotta do with Dr. Ted is this. Look. Everybody's trying to get some free therapy. All you gotta do is this. Watch this drum roll, please, with Ted. Help! That's all you gotta do with Ted. Holler help. He don't know no better. Here he come. Wife find me the same way. That's all I know.
My wife is trying to help me do better with that, though. But I will say, I'll tell my guys, don't chase the paper, chase the dream. The paper will come, you know. And God has taken care of me so far, you know. So
yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you're rich with happiness too, Doc. You're rich with happiness.
Yeah,
you're happy. We can tell it in your demeanor and stuff like that. You got to make yourself happy. All right, y'all. Right. Closing thought. CC, closing thought.
My first closing thought is I bought my husband a clock for nothing. That's my first closing thought. I want my money back. But on a more serious note, just want to say that, you know, all of these things are, all of the subjects that we touched on today were, to me, they were very important. You know, we have to learn to do better as the village, not just for the kids, but at the parents as well. You know, we pass these habits down from generation to generation. So we have to learn to use the resources that are available to us. And as always, I say just, y'all know I'm big on random acts of kindness. So just go out and do something kind for somebody for no reason at all today. Not because you expect something back, not because they going to pay you, not because it's a photo op what's going to wind up in the news, but just a genuine act of kindness, because you never know who you can touch with the simplest of things. You may change somebody's life just by saying hello or just by buying them a cup of coffee. So, you know, we got to do more of that. Just be kind for no reason.
Good. Gina, closing thoughts.
Well, I'm going to take Cece's usual topic. I'm going to tell everybody the pandemic is not over. COVID is not gone. Delta virus is not gone. Please protect yourself. Please continue to wear your mask. Please continue to wash your hands and social distance. Please. Because there's a new one that they found that's they're trying to contain. Okay? Y'all will hear about it soon. But please.
We're gonna hear about it on Thursday. And what she say you hear about it soon, Doc. We're gonna hear about it on Thursday. Between them two, Gina and CC, with that pandemic, they ain't playing. We're gonna get information on that right here on Simply Us on Thursday about the pandemic. I know that. Doc, closing thoughts.
Well, that's a blessing because we need somebody to kind of keep that right in our face, because as we get distracted about this issue or that issue, you know what I'm saying, we have to be diligent of the time period that we are in time right now with this epidemic. These type, there's been a major epidemic every 100 years, and this is the one for now. And so the last one was, I think, in 1918. And so, you know, and before that, it's been almost like clockwork. And so we really have, but this one is taking a different, the world is kind of smaller now. You know, we're able to fly here and fly there and contact people. So it really would allow it to move more rapid than it has been in the past. So we definitely have to be mindful, you know, with that. And really, just like I was saying, I mean, I think it was definitely a good show. And I'm on the same topic with them as far as with that, you know, do something good for somebody out there. You know, we can change somebody's life, and that's each one teach one. If we could just touch one person, you know, and and everything else. And so, you know, and I love to hear topics, you know, like this, so that we can give people more encouraging hope, because I feel that that's what we need right now.
Yeah, good one, Doc. My closing thought is I brought up my first topic, podcast land, because it was affecting me. I brought up my first topic because it affected me. When you start dealing with stuff, crisis going on in your family, my family can go through crises too. You know what I mean? And then I got my wife is really passionate about conversation and with me. She tries to talk with me, and we really do good. I want y'all to know on podcast land, I got lucky. I have somebody that's blessed. I have somebody that's really for me. Cece's for me. We have a good marriage, but some things she needs to work on. She ain't got no tolerance for bullshit or dumb shit. She don't. She'd go up and tell me something, and then I come back 10 minutes later and do it again. That's the end of it. You know? She just, I just told you, you decide you want to do it. You went back down there, got hit in the mouth after you already had blood on your shirt for the first time. She don't address a bunch of foolishness. So I really don't have the luxury of having anybody to talk to about some of the things. You know what I mean? My wife got her own situations, circumstances going on. So I threw that out to the panel. And that's what I did today. I got free therapy from this man that spent 20-some years getting his PhD. I got free therapy from him. What I need to talk about. I got my wife who knows what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Who knows what I'm talking about, knowing that I wanted to talk about it, right, see? I want to talk about it because you know what I mean. I don't. Sometimes you can put yourself in a position with something you don't know how to deal with. You know what I mean. I got Gina who's over there as an avid listener. Gina always. She's a listener. She's a listener. She'll talk. She's a listener. My wife might need to do a little better with that. She listens to sometime, but after a while, she got enough listening to some dumb shit. Don't you know that The Price is Right is on? I'm getting ready to listen to Bob Barker. The Family Feud, so that's what I'm saying. She ain't got no time to keep listening. So sometimes y'all find you somebody when you want to talk that's listening, and that's what the podcast does, y'all. We talk about some topics that you may want to listen on. Y'all may be able to have some Sugar Mama Jones go out there. She talks, types theses, Bonnie talk, type theses, BB talk, type theses. You know what I mean? A lot of questions and stuff like that. They try and give you some knowledge, some stuff that you may want to hear that may help you. They're asking for some help themselves. They got a question or a topic. They're asking for some help. But y'all as the black family we want to hold everything in. We can always solve everything. We can solve everything. Oh, some stuff, y'all, you can't. Some stuff, go to the podcast for it. You know, read a book on it. And if nothing else fails, you got insurance, damn it, make an appointment to see Dr. Ted. Y'all always want to go see another doctor that's got the wonderful guy because you think that his credentials are any different. They told you that that's not true. But you get yourself somebody that you can confide to and talk to. You don't want to come over to Ted, nothing like that, to go sit in his office. You don't want to go to his wife's practice. The boy, let something be wrong. Them bullets ricocheting off that wall down there in the alley in East Baltimore. Help! You'll talk to him then. Try not to always wait till the bullets is bouncing off there or the police got you already handcuffed. Don't make everybody your first phone call to the doctor. Call the doctor before he gets there. Hands up to a good show, everybody. Hands up to another good show. All right, y'all. See, y'all set a record today. We're over 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes. But I don't really think so. I think it was 1 hour and 10 minutes, and my wife got me to knock off clock. This fancy clock.
I'm telling you, true story. 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 46 seconds and counting.
We should know about that, the way you be putting up the countdown and all that, all the way up to the second. Hey, y'all, I want to let y'all know how proud I am. How proud I am to pick this team. If we just now sat there and talked for 2 hours, and it felt like no more than an hour without exaggeration, nobody felt like they was bored. Everybody was entertained. Everybody was engaged. Everybody did their part. And we got all 4 walks of life. We got the nerd that reads the catch-up Bibles. You feel me? We got Gina Lee who wants to save the world. You got the ex-West Baltimore Dauphin jailbug thug. And then you got Dr. Sutton. People can change with a PhD. We give you all this for free. Every Tuesday, every Thursday. Tomorrow, guess what? You're going to go up and do some stuff to make yourself look good. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, it'll be Nature's Secrets and Gina Lee's Paparazzi, showing you some things, some products, some things for inner you and outer you. Get there, do something to support us. Doc always pops in there anytime he wants. He never asks for anybody to say this, but I say this literally. Literally. Doc has a business. He has a PhD. He's a doctor. Him and his wife have a practice. I strongly urge them tomorrow to stop in for a second and post exactly how to get in touch with them and what they do. They never ask y'all to come to their office or anything like that. But if you talk about somebody that can talk to you and give it to you in layman's terms so that you understand, you're looking at them. You do not have to be able to wonderful persuasion. You do not have to be somebody named Billy Jim Bob with a fat stomach and stuff like that to have a doctorate. You have people right here that can be talked to. Don't get to where everybody else is, where you at the point where you at your breaking point before you want to talk to somebody. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be you hooked on drugs. You know what I mean? It could be that you're trying to come out the closet you're gay. It could be anything. It could be your dog is crazy like mine. Might be able to have something to talk about. All right, y'all, let's get out of there. Hey, as we always say before I leave out of here, I like to give my mom the last voice of this thing. I always give this song its due because I really feel like that's what I'm doing. I feel good about the podcast. I feel good about my crew. So right now, I'll get started. May the work I've done speak for me. May the life I've lived speak for me. When I'm resting in my grave, oh Lord, may they all say, may the service we give on these podcasts speak for me. Hands up, y'all, to an awesome show. All right, y'all, my wife just now got another package. I want to see what it is. Let's get out of here. Hey, cuz, our cousin over there, Helen over there in North Carolina, takes us home with grace and mercy. That's all you need. Y'all go out. Kenny Davis, have a great day on purpose. All right, y'all, I'm already in trouble. I'm Party Marty. That's my time. I'm out.